She deserves applause. Oh, those words deserve applause. Peter Mayer, yeah. All right. Well, sometimes, but not often, when I come up with a talk title and I give it to Jamie to put up on the LED sign outside, she tells me that it's too long to go on the sign. And so I usually shorten it or come up with a different title. But in this instance, I asked her if she would put up just half of the title with a ... to indicate that there's more to come. So, the path to nowhere is not only half the title, it's half the story. The full title is The Path to Nowhere is the Path to Now, Here. And the full story is there's nowhere for us to go. Nowhere we can go to find God or to get away from God. God is everywhere right now, including right where we are right now. And God is love. God lives in us and we live in God right here and right now. Now imagine in your mind, just so you get the cleverness of this title, the word nowhere with a space between the W and the H, which makes nowhere now here. And space is important on every level of our experience. For example, space is important between words. I mean, to make them readable, if not always understandable. And that space within the word nowhere, between the W and the H, is important to the meaning of my talk today. Space is important to our comfort as human beings in a human environment. None of us likes to be crowded where we can't move around easily. None of us likes to have our space invaded. I mean, like a newborn baby, we like to stretch and feel our free space. And we all want and need space to be who we are without the opinions of others or our own self-doubt impinging upon our freedom to express ourselves. And as spiritual beings, space is vital to our ever-expanding awareness of who we are and what life is about. And it's the space between our thoughts that offers us just that. Greater and greater awareness of the love that is life and the life that is love, that we are one with forever. Now, as we talked about last Sunday, there's space between, no matter how fast we talk, between our human thoughts and that space emanates a love that is not of this world. It also emanates a peace, a joy, a knowing, an awareness, and a freedom that is not of this world and is not dependent upon this world. Eckhart Tolle wrote, "The joy of being, which is the only true happiness, cannot come to you through any form or possession or achievement or person or anything that happens. That joy cannot come to you ever. It emanates from the formless dimension within you, from consciousness itself. And thus, it is one with who you are. We become aware of that space of conscious joy that is one with who we are, that we are one with, when our mind is quiet. That silent space is like the blue, blue sky. And it seems empty, even though it's everywhere. And it seems empty because it doesn't contain the clouds of the thoughts we've thought before. It's just empty, just pure. And yet it is infinitely full of silent possibilities for new thoughts, for us to think. New thoughts about ourselves and new thoughts about this life that we're living. The Irish poet William Butler Yeats wrote, "The world is full of magic things, patiently waiting for our senses to grow sharper." When we're not fully focused on or distracted by thoughts we've thought before, habits of thought, repetitive thoughts, when we're not full of our opinions about the world around us, in those moments when we just let ourselves feel free to just be with no goal or agenda, but to be fully present and appreciative right where we are, a more expansive beauty within our surroundings shows up, and a greater awareness of the preciousness of all life arises in our perception of it. And life appears as the magical miracle of creation that it truly is. As our song said this morning, the really big magic trick is that there's anything here at all. That space is the space of now, where unlimited life is freely and joyously occurring in every realm of creation, including this earth realm and us in it. Our life is included in the miracle of life. Now is where the yet to be known awaits our knowing of it. Now is where our power lies, because it's where all power is. Our spiritual power, our power to choose, our power to experience a life we enjoy living moment to moment, won't come along someday. It's here today. Now, sometimes we think of now as a position on the clock, like high noon or midnight, as a minute we can point to. But there's a difference between a minute in time and the moment that is now. Now is the immeasurable space between our human thoughts, and it's the space between our last opinion and our next thought. It's where awareness is always fresh and new and spontaneous, unplanned. There's only one time that truly exists in our life, and it's beyond time. It's the present moment in which we have the opportunity to decide something. Yesterday has already been decided, and tomorrow's decisions can't be made yet. It's where we can change our mind just by allowing ourselves the mental free space to see things differently than we've seen them before. All of us can do that. That space belongs to all of us. The challenge is that most of us think that we are fully present when we're actually locked in the recycle of old thoughts. We're thinking about where we've been or where we're going, often regretting what was and worrying about what might happen, or we're thinking about what we've said or what we're going to say if that other person would just stop talking. When we're not fully present, where we are now, the only space where life is actually happening is covered in a fog of thoughts from there to here and here to there. It's murky with memories of years gone by, and it's clouded with our need each day to get from morning to night and accomplish what we believe needs to get done in between. And we miss the life that is ours to live now. Eckhart Tolle wrote, "Your entire life only happens in this moment. The present moment is life itself. Yet people live as if the opposite were true and treat the present moment as a stepping stone to the next moment, a means to an end." But because we are eternal beings, there's no end goal to our life journey. There's no place we need to get to, no place where our path stops. So there's no end for us to need a means for. We don't need to do whatever we're doing at any time in order to get anywhere else spiritually. We're always right where we are, a spiritual being in a spiritual universe. Even though we see form and even though we have form, we've never left the formless dimension that creates form, including this form. If it weren't there, we wouldn't be here. The unlimited consciousness that is one with who we are because it is the one we are doesn't go away. Even while we're here in time and space, having the time of our life. We live in a world that thrives on achieving goals, accomplishing tasks, and reaching destinations. We're taught at an early age that if we're not striving to get somewhere in our life, if we don't have goals to reach, if we don't have a cause we're fighting for, we'll never make anything of ourselves. And some of us may believe we haven't yet. But we're already made, drawn since before time by the love of our Maker, whose power rests in the eternal space of now, and so do we. Our true self hasn't gone anywhere and isn't going anywhere. It's here and it's now. We just need to own it. That's who we are. We need to live it here and now. We're here to express as much of it as we can. We're not here to effort or strive or struggle or suffer for any reason. That doesn't get us anywhere, especially not a better place we've earned in heaven. Do you remember the song, Imagine? John Lennon's song, and there's a part in there that goes, imagine there's no heaven. It's easy if you try. No hell below us, and above us, only sky. Imagine all the people living for today. There's no final exam for us to pass. No ultimate accomplishment that's required for us to enter the infinite depth and breadth of who we are and the endless expansion of our own eternal existence. All we need to do is stop arguing for our limitations. Ours is a never-ending path of self-discovery. And we're perfect, just as we are with every step. We don't have to work at being ourselves. We just need to let ourselves be. Abraham Hicks tells us, you're not here as inferior beings trying to catch up with this heavenly God. You are this heavenly God in this heavenly body here on planet Earth in this leading edge, time, space, reality. We're on a journey without distance and a journey without end, and we are exactly where we're meant to be right now. We are perfectly placed along the path to nowhere. So we might as well enjoy the journey and rest here rather than hereafter in the peace of now. Now we might be thinking, or not, if I don't worry about the world, and if I don't try to fix it, and if I don't have a cause, who's going to? Who's going to make it right? The answer is there are lots of people worrying about the world and trying to fix it. And they're making it worse with every worried thought and every angry action. We could choose, if we wanted to look at our earth journey like walking along a beautiful path where we have no particular destination in mind and nothing weighing on our mind. No worries about the seriousness of this life. No worries about a time frame when our walk might end. No concerns that there's somewhere else we're supposed to be or should be or need to be. We're just walking and just enjoying the journey. As we look around us with appreciation for where we are and what we're able to see right where we are, and yet still feeling excited about what's next. Khalil Gibran wrote, "The appearance of things changes according to the emotions. And thus we see magic and beauty in things, while the magic and beauty are really in us." When we're happy, right where we are, with no desire to be anywhere else but right where we are, and we are open to the magic and beauty that is everywhere, we see and experience the magic and beauty that is everywhere. Happiness allows the timeless presence of now to arise in our awareness. And we are conscious of the fresh and the new and the spontaneous nature of life and of our life in it. We're able to rest in the infinite space of peace that is like the blue, blue sky with no disturbance at all. And we become aware of the indescribable wisdom and goodness within our own mind. Then we can look at this world with fresh eyes and hear sounds with fresh ears. Emily Dickinson wrote, "Forever is composed of nows." If we want to live happily ever after, we better do it now. Because we can only do it one happy moment at a time. Namaste.